Hi, it's a new year 2023. It's my first video ever since we crossed over to the new year. Yes, and I'm happy. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did the holiday ya kutoka 25th hapo hivyo Christmas mpaka ingine ya New Year Eve alafu the first. Yes, I absolutely did. I enjoyed, and there was a lot of fireworks. It was so crazy. We are grateful that we start the year. I wish and hope that everyone is gonna have the best year ever. So now, being new in Denmark, because I'm new here in Denmark, at least I'm new when it comes to staying full-time, because I've else been visiting earlier. There are those things that come as a challenge, these things that are really difficult at the beginning for you to handle them, because they are so different from how we handle them back home. And for me, I will just discuss basing my argument on my own experience, like I've always said. So the first one is the language barrier. So the language barrier is one of the challenges that I've experienced, and that's because I only speak English. That's the only international language that I can speak. Else I could speak Swahili if I met one who would speak Swahili to me, and then of course my home language. That's gonna be very difficult. I think the whole time I'm never gonna meet someone who can speak my language. But okay, so the first thing that I think a person should do if they intend to actually live in Denmark, even if you're back home in Kenya and you plan in the future to relocate to Denmark, anza mapema, just start. Mapema ndio best. Like start learning, start practicing this dance. If you're planning to come to Denmark in the future, please just start. You can just even start doing the online training or something. There are those online even free ones. Start doing even the vocabularies or new words. Something, just start something, because it will be helpful later when you're relocating here. Not that they don't speak English, they do, but they are sticking. They are so proud of their language. They are sticking to their own language, the Dana. So whether you're black or whatever, or if you look like you're a foreigner, they don't really expect. The first expectations to them is not that you cannot speak Dutch. They assume that you've been to the school here, so you can speak Dutch. So they'll just speak to you in Dutch, in Danish. So whether it's in the supermarket, whether it's in the streets. So if you are lost and you want to ask like njia ni gani, so I suggest those are some of the things that you should start learning, like kuuliza njia ya kwenda ni wapi, kuitisha chakula fulani, kuomba maji and all that. So please, if you are in Kenya, uko huko hivyo home kwetu, and you are planning to relocate, come live in Denmark later in the future, anza tu mapema. Like just do it as a hobby. Even if you're busy working, find some time to practice a few main. These are my main. Another thing that is gonna come as a challenge, that is gonna really feel like, oh no, I can't take this. It's the weather change. The weather is so different. First, the climatic conditions are very different here. The seasons are different compared to those that we have in Kenya. Totally different. Now, talking of the weather changes, let's just talk about the weather. Now we as Kenyans, mimi kama Mkenya, kwanza from where I come from in Kenya, I'm used to those high temperatures, very high temperatures. So I'm used to getting heated up, to being heated up. Yes, nishazoea kukaa kwa kuchomwa na jua tangu nizaliwe. So now it comes as a surprise that I have to get used. I have to adapt the different the weather change here that comes as a result of their climatic condition changes, and the seasonal climatic condition changes that they have here. So now the part that I don't like most, I absolutely find it as a very big challenge, but I have to bear with it, and I have to get used to it, and yes, I'm gonna do that absolutely. Is the winter season. Baridi, unajua tu ni sisi, mimi ni wale wa kutoka huko hivyo kwenye kabaridi tu kadogo kananifanya nasikia tu kulala, naweza lala ile mbaya juu ya baridi. Automatically it's a response, normal the impulse of that, it's very cold. It sends a sleeping signal to my brain, because I'm used to different kind of weather. And then it's raining much more often than it's really raining here. Like, you cannot say this is a rain season. No. I don't think they have a rain season specifically. The things that they do have is raining routine. It's raining like every time, whether it's winter time or summer or spring or whatever, or fall time. All those times, expect some rain from time to time, and that should never affect your daily activities. The Danish people are not affected by the change of weather or climatic conditions. Everything goes on as usual, whether it's snowing, hata kama kuna snow, like everywhere is kuna snow east sides from the ground or whatever, people are just doing their things like they have always been doing before. People are driving in the streets, people are going to work. Everything just goes on just like any other normal day. Hey, kuna hii ya maji, water to me in Denmark tastes so different from the water that I'm used to back home. Now, considering that I'm used to taking this water from the tank, rainwater that goes to the tank, and then tunaweka dawa, tunaweka water guard ama dawa yote yenye utaweka, hata kama ni ile ya pill, they are the pill one, the pills. So now that water is very soft. Rainwater is very soft. Tap water in Kenya is also very, very soft. Water in Kenya used to quench my thirst, like it's what I'm used to. So my system was working very well with that. The water here contains more minerals, according to my own experience. It contains more salts, mineral salts. Yes, it does. It have extra mineral salts. Now that is important because I feel like my hair grows more when I'm here. I feel like it's the water because of more and extra mineral salts. So expect that the water is a bit harder, because if the minerals are more, then it's a bit hard compared to the soft water back home. And that will come as a change, and that change in your body, you will feel it. I have really felt it myself. I felt that change, and like I said earlier, the water here didn't quench my thirst, but now it's starting to do, and I'm starting getting used to it, and it's starting to quench my thirst. And it's also starting to feel nice in the mouth. Earlier it was feeling hard. Like, eating habits here are so different. The eating habits are so much different here. Everything about food is different from what we are used to eating back home in Kenya. Mimi, I am used to having githeri like all the time. Like, I won't go a month without githeri, but it's not like that anymore. Don't worry, I still make githeri here. As Kenyans, we like ugali. Tunapenda sana ugali. Ugali nayo hiyo nayo ni food. Lazima tukule. Lakini sasa the problem is that about the unga ya ugali. Sawa. Unga ya ugali, they don't have the real unga ya ugali. The texture of the ungas they have here is so different. It's so fine. A very fine texture and very, very unfine texture. Extra and finer, so that it's not zenga, so that it's not good for ugali. And then there is this too much fine, extra fine also. Rangi ya unga ya ugali is going to be has to be yellow. So don't expect any white unga ya ugali. So that's also a challenge, a very big one for a Kenyan like me, that you cannot get the white unga ya ugali alafu ikuwe na hiyo texture, the medium texture. Just imagine potatoes. Potatoes back home in Kenya, it's something that we use alongside with other stew accessories. If you're making stew, yani mboga. So if you're making mboga stew, potatoes happens to be one of the things that will be used alongside with other accessories, like for example green pepper and all that. But here it's a main dish that should be ate like ugali. Ni kama vile ugali. Sasa kwa mfano, potatoes are not, it's not just an accessory to be done together with others. It's something on its own, and then they can have a stew aside. So they're gonna eat the potatoes and the stew, or with the food together with also the vegetables. So inakuwa ni kama ugali potatoes. Hey, can you imagine ama kama rice yao? Yani unaona, because then we can also do ugali, some vegetables and stew. Then they will do potatoes, the stew and vegetables. Now if you ask me, these potatoes zinafaa tu kumwagwa kwa hii stew. The potatoes should be poured in this stew. That's one main part of the meal, right? Yeah, it shall not be on its own. It cannot be as a Kenyan like hiyo ni kitu ya kuunganisha na mchuzi na nyama unakula, alafu there's ugali aside, or there's rice or something else together with the vegetables. Yeah, but that is it. Potatoes hapo hivi wanazipika kivyao design ya kikwao, na ni kama vile ugali na kama mchele, alafu watakula na another kind of stew. The bread is not the same like the ones we have in Kenya. Super loaf. Hey, nimetamani super loaf. I'm always buying super loaf. I'll buy another bread if there's no super loaf in Kenya, that is. Huku mkate karibia na super loaf sijaona bado, sijapata. So if there's someone living in Denmark and listening to this and you know of a bread that is close to super loaf, how the super loaf is tasting, a nice bread, please comment under ndio nianze kununua hiyo mkate. The thing is friends family separation. Remember, you are new here, you have relocated, you're gonna live here for the longest time. No friends that you know or that know you. Your relatives are back home. It's so many miles away from home. Just before you start to getting along with people, and that takes time. Absolutely, you can imagine the feeling, you can imagine the isolation, and you can imagine the separation that is there. You can no longer go visit your relative anymore, you cannot get a matatu and get to your friend. You can only call them, you can only talk to them through the phone. The much you can do is do a video call, and that is it. Else you just need to call and hear their voices. That really comes as a challenge, because hey, if you are used to seeing, for example, a relative of yours like once in a month, na hiyo ni ile zaidi, manake sisi wa Kenya tunapendana, tunatembeleana and all that. Unakuja huku sasa, utaishi huku, basi ni hivyo, utakaa mwaka kabla uende kwenu, ama hata labda miaka 2 ama hata 3, 4, 5, hata 10 labda. Can you imagine the separation? So can you imagine the emotional upset and torture that you're gonna have? But then I hope with time that people get used to it. But it's always good when you have, of course, maybe relatives to your host, relatives to your husband if you're married here, who are close to you, because that makes it a bit easier. Half of the problem is solved when you have a good relationship with the people kwa background, the relatives at least to start with, relatives wa hao wenye unaishi nao, or if you came to work, those workmates and all that. Now that boredom even inamalizwa kabisa, na when you start going for the classes, attending the day classes, you have to go for those classes. So once you start going out there, you start making friends, pole tu, kwa sababu pia nao si ati lazima pia ati mabeshti bila, lakini just ile kuongea na watu pia nje na nini, nao hiyo inamaliza hiyo story ya kuboeka. You're from Kenya and you are here and you need to travel to different places. You need to go to different places. Of course, you need to go somewhere for different things, because you surely need certain services from different places. So now you need to get there. Hapo huku hivi, it's not like you go kwa stage and just get a matatu. Kama kwetu you just stay kwa nyumba hivi, na utatoka useme nafaa kuwa pale in the next 30 minutes. Okay, I live 10 minutes away from where I want to go, so I'll just go there when it's just 15 minutes time, so that this time nitumie 10 minutes kwenda and then 5 minutes I'm availing myself there. It's so different here, like you cannot schedule the matatus here. So best if you don't want to schedule yourself, it's you to schedule yourself to fit to the matatu schedule. So if you don't want to do that, then you need a car definitely, and if you need a car, you need a driving license. So remember that the Kenyan driving license does not work here, absolutely not. unless you have an international driving license. Yeah, so if you have an international driving license, then you are good to go. Just to mention, then there is need for you to start driving classes. Yes, so that you can get along, so that you can get around in a car here, unless then you have gone for the international where you learn everything overall. You have one from Kenya, at least then you're gonna have a shorter and a bit cheaper driving lesson classes. So it is very important for you when you're here in Denmark. One of the important things that you should start thinking about is how to get around, and through getting driving license lessons, so that you can start as soon as possible to drive here, so that you can get yourself to work and all that. Another challenge to me, that I feel like it's a challenge to me, is the currency. The currency. Now I'm used to Kenya shillings. Nimezoea shilingi za Kenya kwetu. So everything about the look of the money, everything about the value of the money is different. So to me, the first days, and now I'm getting better and better, still not so perfectly, but I'm getting better. So that one is a challenge, and I think it will happen to everyone. Before you start knowing that this amount here that I'm paying for this is the same as this amount back in Kenya, or this and that, or to calculate all of the money and what you need to get in change if you pay, it is a challenge. Yes, it is a challenge. I think that happens to everyone moving from their own country to another place and gonna use currency. So please, 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 for those who are passing by and viewing my videos, please don't just leave without subscribing, without liking, and please, if possible, also try to share my videos. Expect more. Feel free to ask me down under the comment sections about something that you wanna get enlightened on, so that I can discuss it, because I think I'm in a position to discuss most of the things that you wanna know about Denmark. And for those that are returning subscribers, Aki asanteni, thank you so much. Let's just keep on, and tutafika mahali. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry, sina haraka. Sahi tuko 25 subscribers, and I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful. I know we are going somewhere. Even as low as it is, it bado tutafika. Pole pole ndio mwendo.